All right, let me ask you something. If I told you there was a team, a professional sports team, that every single season made it to the playoffs and every single season lost in the first round, and every time they lost, it was because of a different player, not the same one, a different one, every single year. One year, it's the point guard who can't make the free throw. Next year, it's the center who fouls out. Year after that, the sixth man disappears in the fourth quarter. But the coaching staff, the front office, they never change. They never get blamed. They just shake their heads and say, we tried. At what point do you stop blaming the player and start looking at the system? Welcome to the modern day Democratic Party. And today we're going to look at that playbook and call it what it is. It's called the subtle strategy. Let's go. Now everybody knows about the Southern strategy, the Republican playbook that flipped the South after the Civil Rights Act. Nixon, Reagan, dog whistles, voter suppression, we covered it. That's the monster. That's the GOP. But today we're going to talk about the jellyfish again. You see, the GOP strategy is loud. It's on the surface. You can point to it. You can name it. You can fight it. What the Democrats do is quieter, subtler, and honestly, more dangerous. Because it doesn't look like betrayal. It looks like almost winning. In 2010, journalist Glenn Greenwald gave it a name. He called it villain rotation. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's how it works. Democrats campaign on something the people want. Healthcare for all, a living wage, voting rights, criminal justice reform. They fundraise on it. They run ads on it. They get you to vote on it. Then when they get to Washington and actually have the power to pass it, one or two members conveniently break from the party. Not the whole caucus, just enough to kill the bill. And the party gets to throw up its hand and say, we tried. We just couldn't get the votes. But here's the thing. The villain keeps on changing. The face rotates, but the outcome stays the same. And the donors, they never lose. Let's go back to 2009. Barack Obama is president. Democrats have the White House. They have the House. They have 60 seats in the Senate, a supermajority. This is the moment, the big promise, healthcare reform. The people want a public option, a government-run insurance plan to compete with private insurers and keep them honest. Polls show 69% of Americans support it. A majority of Democratic senators are on record saying they'd vote for it. It passes the House. So what happens? One man, Joe Lieberman, independent from Connecticut, the insurance capital of the world, the same state where Aetna is headquartered. Lieberman threatens to filibuster. He says he'll join the Republicans to block the bill unless the public option is stripped out. And Democratic leadership does what it always does. Caves. Just like that. They didn't fight. They didn't apply any pressure to him. They don't call his bluff. They fold. A former insurance industry executive named Wendell Potter later said that if Congress had failed to create a public option, the bill might as well have been called the Insurance Industry Profit Protection Act. And he was right. Since the ACA passed without that public option, insurance company stock prices doubled and tripled. Aetna stock went through the roof. The industry won. But here's the kicker that nobody talks about. Reporters later emerged suggesting the Obama White House had privately negotiated the public option away months before Lieberman even made a stand. They just needed someone to take the fall publicly. And Lieberman was perfect for the role. He had already left the Democratic Party. He campaigned for John McCain. Progressives already hated him. He had nothing to lose. After leaving the Senate, Lieberman went on to found No Labels, a dark money group backed by Wall Street and GOP billionaires. He lobbied for Chinese telecom companies. He made his money. That's the reward for playing the villain. You take the heat, then you cash the check. Fast forward to 2021. Joe Biden wins. Democrats take back the Senate barely. It's 50-50 with Vice President Harris as the tiebreaker. Same setup, same promises, voting rights, filibuster reform, build back better, the biggest social spending bill in a generation, climate investment, childcare, prescription drug reform. So what happens? Two people, Joe Manchin from West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema, Arizona. That's what happens. Joe Manchin blocks the Build Back Better plan. He guts it from $3.5 trillion down to a fraction. He kills the child tax credit expansion that pulled millions of kids out of poverty. Just let it expire. Sinema blocks filibuster reform, which means voting rights legislation dies. She strips out the Medicare prescription drug pricing provisions. She blocks tax increases on the wealthy and corporations. She runs to the bathroom to avoid protesters asking her to represent the people who elected her. And the rest of the party? They shrug. They fundraise off the frustration. If only we had 2 more senators, they say. If only Manchin and Sinema would come around. But here's the question nobody asks. If the Democratic Party really wanted these things to pass, where was the pressure? Where was the consequences? Manchin had key committee assignments. Did they strip them? No. Sinema was raising money from pharmaceutical companies and hedge funds while gutting her own party's agenda. Did they challenge her? No. The party treated them like wayward children. Frustrating, sure, but ultimately useful. Because the filibuster is the ultimate shield. As one political analyst put it, as long as the filibuster is in place, Democrats can blame Republicans for inaction instead of their own members. It's an easy, cheap no. Nobody has to be the one who killed voting rights. The system killed it. And what happened to Manchin and Sinema? Well, they both left the party. Sinema became an independent and didn't even run for re-election because she was a coward, as we spoke in a previous episode. Manchin, he retired. But before they left, they cast one final vote together, blocking Biden's nominee to the National Labor Relations Board, handing control back to the Republicans right as Trump was about to take office. One last. That wasn't a disagreement. That was a goodbye gift to the people who were really being served. Let's talk about right now, because the rotation never stops. John Fetterman, yes, the wolf in sheep's clothing. Pennsylvania elected in 2022, a progressive hero, we all thought. The guy in the hoodie and the shorts, the everyman, the anti-establishment Democrat. He said he was a progressive Democrat. That's what he called himself. And we, the base, believed him. People donated millions. They rallied around him when he had a stroke during the campaign. They defended him against every attack. They put him in office. So what did he do with that trust? He visited Mar-a-Lago. He started praising Trump's policies. He voted with Republicans over a dozen times to reopen government without securing healthcare protections. His own party was fighting for it. He confirmed Trump's cabinet nominees, including Kristi Noem, and he cast the vote for Trump's Homeland Security pick. He's the only Democrat who refused to sign a letter demanding answers about bombing of Iranian kids. That school that was killed at least 175 people. He told CNN he thinks his own colleagues are governed by TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. That's Republican language, coming from a quote-unquote progressive Democrat. He doesn't attend Democratic caucus lunches. He misses votes, especially on Mondays. He can't even enter the Senate chamber half the time because he refuses to follow the dress code. His approval rating among Pennsylvania Democrats has collapsed from 80% to, let's just say, it's way below water. Among Republicans in the state, it surged to 62%. He's not representing the people who put him in office. He's auditioning for a new audience. And the Democratic Party, they call it a big tent. They say we have room for different voices. No, what you have is the next villain in the rotation, the latest face on a very old con. Now let me lay it out, because when you see the full picture, it's undeniable. 2001 through 2008, the villain is Joe Lieberman. He blocks the public option. He supports Bush's wars. He endorses John McCain over Barack Obama. 2009 to 2010, Jay Rockefeller steps up to kill the public option through reconciliation after Lieberman already took the main hit. Blanche Lincoln blocks key reforms. Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Schumer break with the party on Bush's attorney general nominees. 2013 to 2016, the quiet era. Obama has the presidency, but not the Senate supermajority. The filibuster does the work. No, villain needed. The system is the shield. 2021 to 2024, Manchin and Sinema, Build Back Better gutted, voting rights dead, filibuster saved, child's tax credit expired, NLRB nomination killed on the way out the door. 2025 through now, it's Fetterman, voting with Republicans on government shutdowns, confirming Trump's nominees, refusing to stand with his own caucus on basic accountability. Different faces, different names, different districts, same outcome every single time. And meanwhile, the Democratic Party gets to keep telling you, just give us 2 more seats, just vote harder, just donate more. We're so close. How many times are you going to fall for so close? The Southern strategy works because it exploits something real. The genuine desire people have for change. The Republicans are honest about who they serve. They cut taxes for corporations, they deregulate, they stack courts, they don't pretend otherwise. The monster doesn't hide its teeth. But the jellyfish campaigns like it's on your side. It talks about the working class, it talks about justice, it talks about equity and opportunity and the dream of a better America. And then when it's time to deliver, it finds one member, just one, to take the fall. And the rest get to keep their campaign promises alive for the next cycle. Because the promise is the product. They're not selling change. They're selling the hope of change. And hope is renewable. It doesn't expire. You can sell it over and over and over again. It works because the alternative is terrifying. What are you going to do? Vote Republican? Support the monster? So you stay. You vote blue no matter who. You hold your nose and you tell yourself next time will be different. But it never is. And the donor class, the pharmaceutical companies, the insurance giants, the Wall Street firms, they donate to both sides. They don't care who wins. They care that progress loses. And the subtle strategy guarantees that it always does. So what do we do about it? Because I'm not just here to make you angry, I'm here to make you think. First, stop rewarding failure. When a party promises you something and doesn't deliver, not because of the other side, but because of their own members, that's not bad luck, that's a choice. Treat it like one. Second, follow the money. Every time a Democrat breaks from the party on something that would help working people, look at their donors. Look at who's funding them. Lieberman was bankrolled by insurance companies. Sinema was taking meetings with pharmaceutical lobbyists while gutting drug pricing reform. The money tells you the truth. That speeches won't. Third, primary them. The party establishment hates primaries. They call it divisive. You know what's actually divisive? Telling people you're going to fight for them and then doing the polar opposite. The Working Families Party has already said they'll back a primary challenger to Fetterman in 2028. That should definitely happen every single time. Fourth, support third parties and ranked choice voting. We talked about this before. And as long as you have 2 doors, they can keep running this play. People real options, and the subtle strategy dies. And fifth, and this is the most important one, stop identifying with political parties. Start identifying with policy. Don't ask, am I a Democrat? Ask, does this person vote for the things I need? If they don't deserve your loyalty, period. The GOP gave you the Southern strategy. It was loud, it was brutal, it reshaped American politics for 60 years. But the Democrats, they gave you the subtle strategy. Quieter, cleaner, no fingerprints, same result. Because in both cases, the people who need help the most are the ones who get it the least. And the people who fund the campaigns always get what they paid for. Monster and the jellyfish don't fight each other. They take turns. So the next time someone tells you to vote blue no matter who, ask them, who's the villain this time? Because there's always one. And the party always knows who it is before you do. The smoke doesn't rise to be seen. It rises because there's a fire underneath it. When it comes to the subtle strategy and the Democratic Party, think for yourself. And you can quote me on that. If what you heard just hit you, don't treat it like background noise. Don't scroll past it. Follow the link in the description and subscribe to the Quote to Smoke podcast. Leave a comment too. Disagreement is welcome here. We talk, we listen. That's the point. No filter, just fire.
Like wanting real options makes me deranged. More than two doors. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. A whole hallway. Whole hallway. Waiting on the other side. More than two doors. More than two doors. Break the machine. Break the machine. Best democracy money can buy.